questions as I go through this presentation. So as we talk about destination and everything Paul Gauguin offers, sit tight on your questions and we'll get them all covered at the end. So that's perfect.
Let's do.
Okay. So are we good to go? Sean, you want me to share my screen and
absolutely
take it away? All right, let me share my screen here. Give me just a moment. All right, so hopefully you are all seeing my screen. You can see the beautiful Paul Gauguin on there. Excellent. So first and foremost, I always like to say Yarana, because that is how we say hello in Tahitian. And we also say Maeva, which is welcome. So my name again is Barbara Davis. It's my pleasure to be here. And really, it's a pleasure to be able to share the islands of French Polynesia with you. I have been in the travel industry for more than 25 years, and I spent over, well, let's just say about 12 of those years specifically working in Tahiti, Fiji, and the Cook Islands. So the South Pacific is my love and my passion. So with that, let's talk a little bit about where Tahiti is, because most people think it's this really far off exotic destination, and it's not that far. So from the West Coast, it's an easy nonstop flight from Los Angeles. That's about 8 hours. San Francisco, about 8.5. From Seattle, nonstop, about 9 hours. So, you really have, wherever your feeder flight is coming from, you can get that nonstop to French Polynesia. And Tahiti itself, and so I say French Polynesia, Tahiti interchangeably. Technically, the country is French Polynesia. The main island of Tahiti is where everybody flies into, but French Polynesia itself is literally directly below Hawaii. So same time zone as the Hawaiian island. So I like to say it's just another movie and cocktail further to get to Tahiti than it is to get to Hawaii. So that's kind of the bulk of what we do. And like Sean said earlier, we really are focused completely in the South Pacific. And that's where I want to walk you through some of our basics and all of our inclusions first, because the one most important thing to me is that we have been the resident cruise line sailing in Tahiti for 25 years, actually 26 years now. So when it comes to knowing the destination, we really are the experts in sailing in French Polynesia, because our ship is small enough with only just 330 guests on board. So it's small enough with a 17-foot draft to be able to get past the reef into the lagoons and really give you that up close and personal experience in the Tahitian islands. So it's a very unique aspect on board. So again, we know the islands, the locals actually sail with us as part of our crew. So it's a really authentic experience. And that's one of the things that sets us apart. The other thing that I'll mention is that we are island style luxury. So when you look at sailing with us, we don't have formal nights. We really just kind of have that Tommy Bahama style vibe, just like Sean and Scott are wearing there. So you've got your island wear. That's all you need. So no formal nights. At dinner time, we say gents typically will do maybe a polo shirt or a button down, but at most, that's all you need. Additionally, we're also all-inclusive. And when you look at going to French Polynesia, there really are no all-inclusive resorts. So when you compare a land package to our cruise, we're actually about $1,500 less than doing a land package, simply based on the food alone. Because when I was there in October and I was at my hotel, I had, let's just say, a cheeseburger, and it was roughly $30. So you want to make sure you have the all-inclusive aspect, and that is exactly what Paul Gauguin Cruises does. And I'll walk you through restaurants in a bit, but it's all of your meals. It's also all of your beverages. So it's beer, wine, and spirits throughout the day, every day. So you're not limited to a certain meal time to enjoy all of those libations. And then it's all of your non-motorized water sports. So you can see from the back of the ship, there's actually an activity platform that comes down. We call it our marina. And so you can take the stand-up paddle boards and the kayaks directly off the back of the ship. We also provide you with all of the snorkel gear as well. So you don't have to bring anything with you. We literally have you come down to the marina the first day. You'll check out your snorkel gear and they'll fit you for it, and you can borrow it the entire voyage. You can use it on shore excursions. You can just use it if you're wanting to go around on the beach by yourself. So again, all of that is included. The other stuff that's included, first and foremost, is we have 2 exclusive retreats. So these retreats are solely for our guests. So nobody gets to go to these except for our 330 guests that's traveling with us. The first one is a private island, or Motu. It's called Motu Mahana, and it is just off the coast of Taha. So that is right off the coast of the Manila Island, and we have a beautiful private islet with its own beach, and right next to the beach area, which you're actually seeing in this photo, the bartender's pouring the drinks in the water, but where he's standing directly beyond that is our coral garden. And that coral garden is protected by a reef on the outside. You could almost see it in that photo.
Oh.
And that reef has kind of a crack in it. So the ocean current will come through that reef and provide you with an opportunity to drift snorkel through the coral garden. So it's an incredible experience, and you don't have to have any dive experience at all because you're just snorkeling right off the beach here. The second thing about Motu Mahana that I love is that we're there the whole day. We put on a full day, like barbecue beach picnic. So we've got hamburgers and hot dogs and fresh fruit, but our entertainers, which are really more cultural ambassadors, I'll tell you about them in a minute. They're climbing the trees, pulling the coconuts down, showing you how you husk them locally. So it is a very authentic experience. The second private retreat that we have is our private beach in Bora Bora. So you can see Mount Otamanu is in the background here. This one's a little bit more of just like a rustic beach experience where you come out to the white sand beach. You can use all the non-motorized water sports. You can snorkel right off here as well. But again, just for our guests to visit this area. Okay, aside from those 2 included experiences, we also include all of our local Tahitian entertainment by way of our hosts. Now, I don't really like the word entertainers for this because we really have more essentially our cultural ambassadors. And so we call them Legogans and Legogines, and they are the men and women of Tahiti that sail with us the entire journey. So what they do is they're there to greet you as you walk on board. They give you a little tiare flower to put behind your ear as you enter the ship. When you come back from shore excursions, they have a cold, fresh towel to keep you rejuvenated as you come back on board. But throughout the entire journey, they are doing all of the cultural presentations. They're doing your Tahitian dance classes, lei making. If you want to learn how to play the ukulele while you're on board, they will do all of that. And that is totally complimentary. So there's about maybe 9 to 12 of the Gogans and Gogines that are with us every week. And they really are the life beat and the pulse of what we do. In fact, in Tahiti, we call that the mana, or the spirit of the islands. And that is what is sailing with us throughout the entire journey. Of course, in the evening, we always have nightly entertainment. So the Gogans and Gogines put on the entertainment. It might not always be a Polynesian review. We also have local entertainers who will come on board. Maybe we'll have a native drum troupe that comes on. The crew night is always a hit with everybody to see how all the crew entertains as well. But nightly entertainment is always part of what we do. The other things that we include as part of our cruise fare is gratuities. So you don't have to worry about doing any tipping along the way. In fact, in French Polynesia, it's not really customary. So we have built that in for our crew members. So you are not nickeled and dimed. You're not going to find envelopes to use at the end of the voyage. Of course, if somebody that is providing you great service, or you have one of the suites with butler service, you'd like to provide extra, you can, but there's no obligation to that at all. And then the other thing we include is Wi-Fi. So we know everybody likes to
Excuse
stay
me.
connected. Yes,
Okay.
we all want to be posting like I'm in Bora Bora, and really make sure people know where we're at on this bucket list. So we include all of the Wi-Fi, and we have upgraded our internet last year to Starlink. So no issues on board with needing to take conference calls if that's what you need to do, or just do FaceTime with anybody. So again, all of that's included. Okay, the other thing that we include, and I always like to throw this out, is we have a complimentary Tahitian blessing ceremony. So anybody who's celebrating their love, or maybe it's an anniversary for you coming on board, we offer one time during the voyage this blessing ceremony where we invite all of our guests up to the lounge, and you'll be there with other guests as well who are celebrating. And when I was there, I saw people who were 4 days married, so honeymooners. all the way up to 60-year anniversary. And so we have our Gauguins and Gauguines who will perform this beautiful blessing ceremony spoken in English, French, and Tahitian. Everybody enjoys this delicious cake, and then we take each couple out on the deck and we wrap you in the Tahitian taifefe, which is the quilted wedding blanket, as you see in this photo, give you the crown of flowers that you can wear, and then we take your photo in front of Mount Otamanu, and it's just a beautiful free memory that you get to make with us. So it's a super cool thing to do. Of course, if you wanted to do like a symbolic vow renewal on Motu Mahana, you can always opt in to do that as well, but you can talk to Sean and Scott and the team about that. Okay, there are a couple of enhancements that you can add to your vacation, because everything I just talked about is the basics. It's what's included. So enhancement wise, first and foremost, we offer airfare on Air Tahiti Nui. So out of Los Angeles or Seattle, we have those nonstop flights, and there are 3 classes of service. So you've got your economy, your premium economy, and your Porava business class seats, which comes with lay flat seats. And I have traveled on that myself last October, and it is such a comfortable ride. And the great thing about this is that when you fly, typically you are on an overnight flight. So you wake up in paradise at about 5 a.m. So I always recommend at least a day room, but I really recommend going out to see the islands more than you can just on your cruise. So doing a pre-night, whether it's 1 pre-night in Tahiti or heading out to Moorea to do 3 pre-nights or even post-nights, that's all something that can be added into your cruise vacation as well. So extend your stay. And my biggest insider tip for you is that most people, when you go to the main island of Tahiti and you fly in there, most people just use it as a springboard and leave to the cruise or to an outer island. But there really is a lot to see on that island itself. Even a Circle Island tour would be super beneficial for you to see. So definitely try to come in at least a day ahead of time. Okay, so that's one add-on. The other add-on, I call them the 3 S's. They're the 3 S's that are not included. First and foremost is shore excursions. And these you can get pre-booked 60 days in advance. And remember, we only have 330 guests on board. And some of our shore excursions have a limited amount of people. So for example, this jet ski Circle Island tour might only take 12 couples on this tour. So you want to make sure you're booking these early. So shore excursions is the first one not included. The second one is the spa, and we have a full service spa on board. So massage and facials. In fact, there's a steam room on board, and you do not need to purchase a spa treatment in order to use the steam room. So just keep that in mind. And then the third thing not included is your scuba diving. So if anybody is a diver, you will be happy to know that we have a dive master that is on board the entire journey. So they will really get to know your level of comfortability in diving, but we offer daily dives. So whether it's 1 tank or 2 tank, we'll do multiple dives a day. The best part is that we include all of the gear. So you do not have to bring any wetsuits, any regulators and tanks. We have all of that on our marina. Now, if you are not PADI certified already, we do have an onboard resort certification program. So if you wanted to try it, you certainly could do that as well. We just require everybody, regardless of certification, to have a signed doctor's note. And Sean has those forms that you can easily just fill out and bring with you. So no biggie on that. And then lastly, I always recommend that you get travel insurance, especially when you're going to a destination like French Polynesia. You want to make sure that you're covered not just for things like cancel, but for medical as well. So remember, we see as many visitors in Tahiti in 1 year as Hawaii sees in 1 week. So we are the road less traveled for sure. So you want to make sure, while we still have full medical care and hospitals in Tahiti, when you get to those remote outer islands, it's a little bit more sparse. So having travel insurance is always important. Okay, let me show you the ship, and then we can talk about the 2 itineraries that we're looking at. So I mentioned earlier that she's small ship luxury cruising, just 330 guests on board. So my favorite part is that she is 100% ocean view staterooms, and about 70% of her is private balconies. So it really just comes down to, do you want a balcony or not? And then from there, do you want butler service or not as well? Now, aside from that, we do have rooms that have one there. There we go. Thank you. Twin or queens, and we even have some. Let's hang on there and see. There we go.
There we go.
All right, thank you. All right. So, bedding wise, we have plenty of options, and then we also have a really great guest to crew ratio, so 1 to 1.5 throughout the entire ship. The other thing too is that we were completely renovated in 2021, so we completely gutted the inside of the ship, totally renovated her, so she has this fresh island feel to her across the board. So let's look at cuisine first, because most people think when I get on board, what am I going to dine on, right? So the first restaurant is Le Grill. Now, Le Grill, this gentleman. There we go.
There we go. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. No worries. All right, so Le Grill for breakfast and lunch is more of a casual dining experience. I don't like to use the buffet word. I like to say casual dining. Le Grill is out by the pool, so it's al fresco style seating. And at nighttime, we do require reservations, as this kind of turns into a Tahitian Pan-Pacific cuisine restaurant. The second restaurant that we have is La Veranda. And again, during breakfast and lunch, this is more al fresco casual dining, but at dinner time, it turns into a French restaurant where reservations are required here as well. And there's both indoor and al fresco seating here. So you've got two options. So if you want escargot every night, you could certainly do that too. And then our third restaurant option is L'Etoile. L'Etoile is our main dining room. It is more of a continental cuisine, and it's only open for dinner. Unless there's inclement weather out there and it's raining for breakfast or lunch, then we will open L'Etoile so everybody could come in. But otherwise, this is open seating, no reservations required. The doors open, let's say it's 7. You can request a table for 2 or a table for 10. It's totally up to you. And then we also offer 24-hour room service. So regardless of which stateroom category you're in, every single stateroom comes with 24-hour room service. And during dinner time, you can order off the main dining room restaurant menu from L'Etoile. So you don't have to go to the dining room to get the good stuff. You can get that in your stateroom as well. I'll just show you a couple of public spaces. You can always see this online or in a brochure as well, but Le Grand Salon, where all the entertainment takes place. The piano bar, this photo doesn't even do it justice. It's actually kind of a U shape, more rectangular, very long. But what we've done is we've taken those Tahitian blue lagoons and mountain green colors and brought them indoors, so you have this really authentic island feel throughout. La Palette, this is where we also have some live entertainment and dancing in the evening. There is a dance floor here, plenty of room to hang out outside and watch the stars as well, and see the Southern Cross. Our famed Jimmy Buffett has a great song about the Southern Cross, and so that is a big thing I always like to see when I'm down there. So, and then plenty of time spent out on the pool deck where the bar is as well. All the furniture recently updated too, so fantastic outdoor experience. And that's just a glimpse at some of the public spaces. From a stateroom and suite standpoint, everything will have kind of that bright light, fresh air, blues and white feeling, kind of contemporary vibe. This is a look at the owner's suite. There's 2 of those categories. The grand suite is also quite large, 530 square feet, comes with butler service as well. The veranda stateroom category A also comes with butler service. So again, plenty of elbow room here. And then our entry level into butler service is our category B veranda stateroom. Now, beyond that, the rest of the ship essentially looks like this. The category C or D stateroom, just depends on which deck that you're on, still has a balcony, plenty of space. And by the way, there is a mini bar in every stateroom. So a mini fridge, mini bar in every stateroom, and B and above is replenished daily with your beer and your drinks as well. The rest of the ship is our entry level category E and F, which is either a picture window in category E or 2 portholes in the category F. So that's the whole ship. Again, all ocean view staterooms. And again, 70% are roughly balcony cabins. All right, let's switch it up and talk about the itineraries real quick, because there's 2 fantastic itineraries that Sean and his team have for you. First and foremost is our 7-night itinerary called More Tahiti and the Society Islands. And this is great because you essentially get a port every single day. So no sea days. And you even have an overnight included in one of the islands. So this one's taking place July 5th of 25. And so this itinerary, you start off by flying into the island of Tahiti, which is the most populated island. But again, remember I mentioned that Hawaii to Tahiti ratio. So you're never looking at a busy season. From Tahiti, you sail off. And again, there's plenty to see in Tahiti. Like I mentioned, try to stay a little while if you can. You can get some great hiking and inland tours. But from Tahiti, we sail out to Huahine. Now, this is a look at Le Marché, the market that's still in Tahiti. I'll mention that again in a second, but that's great for your souvenir shopping, as well as every morning they open at about 4 in the morning and the locals come in selling their fresh fish and produce, but it's a great place to buy things like, your crown of flowers. So from there, we sail to Huahine. Huahine is the Garden Isle. It's also known for its ancient mares and temples. I always try to use real photos when I do these. This is a photo I took when I was there last October. So beautifully lush and green. This is one of the ancient mares, which is the temple. So the ones that are down by the beach are actually coral versus volcanic rock. So it's really unique to see along the way. From Huahine, we sail over to Taha and Raiatea. And I love this photo because you can see there is a reef that surrounds both Taha and Raiatea. So the same lagoon goes around both of these islands. So Taha is the vanilla island on the top, and Raiatea is the more southern island. So when we sail through, we'll go to Raiatea first. What's special about Raiatea is she has one of the only UNESCO temples or mares in the South Pacific. So you get to go to Tapu Tapu Tea, which is just fun to say. So that is on the island of Raiatea. Now, from there, we'll go over to Taha. And Taha is the vanilla island. So here's what I love to share about Tahiti. We all know that vanilla can be found in Madagascar, Mexico, Tahiti. Tahitian vanilla, I think, is by far the best. And I'm not just partial to it, but I do feel that it is quality superior. But part of that reason, and these are the vanilla beans that are growing off the vanilla orchids, the reason that that is so impressive is that the vanilla beans in Tahiti can only be produced by way of a hand pollination. So because the bumblebee that pollinates the vanilla orchid flower is only found in Mexico, in vanilla, they have to hand pollinate every vanilla orchid to get those beans to grow. And when those beans grow, after a few months, they're harvested and they lay out on a drying table for 3 to 4 weeks where they turn brown. And during that time that they're laying out on the table in the sun, they are hand massaged every day for 2 to 3 hours a day. So I don't know about y'all, but in my next life, I want to come back as a vanilla bean because 2 to 3 hour a day massage sounds really good to me. So that's your vanilla islands. And then of course, there are also your black pearl farms here as well. So you can get all your black Tahitian cultured pearls. That is plenty found. You can even go to the farms and see how they're harvested and created. Okay. So that's Taha during, let's just say, the morning. The rest of the afternoon, you can go to Motu Mahana, our private island, and do that full barbecue beach day picnic thing if you want. If you don't want to go to the vanilla island, you don't have to. Just come over to the private island and you've got that at your disposal. Otherwise, all of the shore excursions are in the morning, so you have the full afternoon to experience the private island itself. Okay, after that, we head over to Bora Bora. And Bora Bora is obviously iconic, right? It's got this beautiful turquoise lagoon. Every hotel is on an outer motu. In fact, if you were to ever fly into Bora Bora, you're actually flying into a motu, and then you have to take a boat everywhere to get around. But we sail into the lagoon itself, and then we go right into the center island, and we have plenty of activities that are here as well. Some of them are the shark and stingray feeding. So this was one from the trip that I was on last time. So your blacktip reef sharks, you can certainly get in and snorkel and swim with them. You can feed the stingrays, but we also have plenty of land activities. So maybe you're not a huge water lover. You can get into the Jeep tours. You can go up and see the old World War II cannons because Bora Bora was once a base during World War II. So there's some World War II cannons that you can go up and see, but plenty of activities. And the great thing about Bora Bora is that we are overnight in this destination. So we drop anchor, which by the way, we drop anchor in every destination because there are no docks to go to in these islands. Only the first island will you ever have an actual pier or a dock. Everything else, you're taking a tender into the island. So overnight in Bora Bora, so 2 full days to experience that. Then we go over to Morea, and Morea is really kind of this lush garden kind of adventurous isle where right here, this is a lookout point. We call this Belvedere Lookout, and you're looking at Cooks and Opanohu Bays, and that's where our ship will be docked in one of those bays and have the most breathtaking views. But you can get one of our e-bikes and go around the island. You can take an ATV ride through the pineapple fields. And by the way, the pineapple in Tahiti is far superior, in my opinion, to that of the rest of the rest of Polynesia, because in Tahiti, the pineapples are much smaller, so they're much more sweet than you would find in Hawaii. Okay, and then the rest of Morea, plenty of, again, outdoor activities, marine-based activities, lots of things to see and do there as well. And then you end up back in Tahiti, where you could fly home from there. But a secret, if you're a golfer, there is a golf course in the island of Morea. So if you're into that, you can certainly golf here as well. All right, that's the first itinerary. The second itinerary is an 11-night itinerary, and it's almost identical. So I'm not going to run through the whole thing like I did just now, but the difference is this one goes to the Cook Islands. So this is going to be in November of 2026. And what I love about the Cooks is that if we say Tahiti was Hawaii 50 years ago, the Cooks is Tahiti 50 years ago. So it's even more remote and authentic. So Aitutaki and Rarotonga are very similar to Bora Bora and Moorea. So this itinerary, you go from Tahiti, you head to Huahine, so you get to see the Garden Isle again. You've got a day at sea, so you can enjoy the pool and any of the libations going on all day, because I'm sure y'all are going to be drinking. And then from there, we continue on to Aitutaki. So beautiful turquoise lagoon. We actually take you out to One Foot Island, which is a very unique experience where you can get your passport stamped. It's kind of a hokey kind of passport stamp. It's not official, but they can do it and it's fine in your passport. I've got one, so I like to have them on there. And then from there, we go to Rarotonga, which again has a great reef protecting the lagoon, but again, more mountainous safari type experiences. I did ATV rides through here, so you can definitely get your adrenaline junkie part out. The great thing is that you're then getting the Maori influence from New Zealand versus just the Polynesian influence from French Polynesia. Then you have another day at sea, so more libations to drink in, and then you get back and you do Bora Bora overnight. And then from there, you've got Taha with Motu Mahana, and then Moorea again overnight. So 2 full days now in Moorea before you disembark. So that's the second itinerary. So when you look at the big difference here, these exclusive promos that Sean and his team have, so July 5th, as well as November 21st, depending on whether you want the 7 or 11 night, both of those voyages are currently at a 30% discount. Plus, I've given him an additional 5% for his group. So great savings. We also have a shipboard credit. On the July one, it's $150 per person shipboard credit. On the November 26th one, it's a $300 per person shipboard credit. And if you're a solo traveler, we have 0 single supplements on select categories. So that's a great way for you to still get maybe a balcony cabin and just pay, you know, for a single person versus having to pay double with those supplements. So great opportunities there. There's also some flyers that I've given Sean as well and his team, so you can certainly get the day by day here and view it and check it out a bit further. But that really kind of wraps it up for me. So I'll say maruru, which is how we say thank you in Tahitian, and I'll hand it back to Sean and the team. And if we have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
And guys, feel free if you have a question, go ahead and unmute yourself and feel free to ask. But there's one thing I wanted to add that I wanted to put on. One, I wanted to note, I think it's very important for Della that we note that there were a couple of open air Jeeps for Jim, because so he can get his open air Jeep excursion in there. And the other thing was, so did y'all catch what was really neat as she was talking? She's like, or you can take one of our 4-wheelers, or you can take this. Everything is there. They have everything that they have. Again, they have this down to a science. Can you go back to the slide that showed the back of the boat, where you know what I'm talking about, with the paddle boards?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me pull that one back up. I'm just going to stop screen sharing for a second and I will pull that back up here. So yeah, and that's a good point that you mentioned as well, because we have it all. And when you get off in these destinations, it's not like you can walk into town. There's not always a town or a village to walk into. So you need to be doing the excursions. And while you're there, you want to make sure that you're participating in those, of course. So here, let me share my screen again and pull that up for you here. So here you go. Here's the back of the ship. So you can see that activity platform. The marina is there for y'all to have fun right off of. Now, what's weird is that you can't swim off the back of it, but you can get on your paddleboard or your kayak and, oh, oops, I fell in, right? I mean, that
You know,
happens.
it could happen. Scott, could you imagine that happening when you get on a paddleboard?
Never.
Never. So, and this is the other thing I wanted to point out. So, as you get on that paddleboard back there and you're going out, they're not required to actually stand on that paddleboard, right? They can sit and paddle.
Sure, yeah, because
Oh, okay.
I'm not standing. Like, good luck
Uh,
getting that to happen.
and I do want to point out, so everyone don't worry about this, because although the ship does not record us getting on the paddle boards and trying to go out there, just be assured that Jason and I will, and we will be playing that back later on in the evening for our entertainment. So we just figure that disclosure needs to come out at this point. So as we're doing it, but this is, to me, this is so neat. So basically every time we have anchors down there, we have abilities to kind of just take equipment out and go explore the
Absolutely.
area.
Yeah, the only time there would be an exception to that is, let's just say some inclement weather happened and the captain
Right.
didn't okay to open the marina, but otherwise, whenever we are in port, so to speak, with the anchor dropped, we can open up that activity platform. Yes.
And so the other thing is, just so people can kind of compare apples to apples. If I hate to ask you to jump around, but do you mind going back to the screen that had the pricing up and had everything else? Because this is the other thing I want to point
Yeah.
out. We have a lot of people that travel with me go by themselves and they don't share a cabin. There is the balcony cabins here. It's no single supplement. So you're not paying double. The
Yep.
contract we negotiated with them is that if you want to go by yourself and you want a balcony cabin, it is not a problem. Okay. So
Yeah.
that price is not going to get doubled. There's not anything more that's going to get added on to it. That's it. And we did that deliberately. And the other thing is, when you just talk about what was interesting, you notice that you have a ship that has no more than 330 people on it.
Mhm.
There's only 330 people on, and at the same time, there were 3 restaurants
Yes. Yeah.
that
There's
full
no
run to go
shortage
do.
of places to eat. I mean, you will not go hungry. So yeah.
And then, and isn't there like, so just talking about that though, so you have the no single supplement. We're able to go ahead and again, that category CS is a balcony cabin.
Yes.
Just for folks to know.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is the pricing that we have is so unique, because if you go on, this is the cheapest price that you're going to see for these 2 cruises ever, to be blunt.
It will.
And because they don't do it, I know a lot of people say, well, we'll wait till last minute. There is no last minute on these cruises.
Agreed. And Sean, that brings up a really good point, because, and I'll just explain it so your people know, we work on what's called dynamic pricing. So when we launch a sailing, it starts at a 30% bonus savings. And then as the ship occupancy increases, we reduce that 30% until it's 0. So we don't put it on sale if it's selling well. So that means the key is to book early, because once you hit that 30%, it will drop. And so the great benefit of booking with this group is that we have locked in that rate. So it will not drop lower than what it is today. And even if a sale comes out later, that sale is not going to be based on the 30% and 5% group saving. It's going to be based on like 10% savings. So you'll have the best rate now.
And everything is included in this voyage. So every restaurant that you're going to, all the meals, and all of your drinks. And I have met many of you in person, and I know that the drinks were the thing that you were really worried about. Okay. And you don't have to worry about them here. Here, all the drinks are included. You can hide behind the phone, but I'm talking to you. So the thing is, it's just saying, as people start ducking behind their cameras. But no, the thing is, this includes all your alcohol as well.
It
So
does.
I want you to think about this. When you look at the prices, you're already paying these prices to go on, quite frankly, nothing compared to this cruise line. The luxury, you see the difference in the rooms, you see the difference in the size of the rooms, and you see the difference in everything. I cannot believe we got this pricing. And I will tell you, I can see Christy over there is actually kind of shocked at my pricing.
Sean, the other thing that I'll throw out and mention for your clients here is again, it goes back to that authenticity of being in this destination with the cruise line that lives and breathes it. It's our mana, it's our life force. We have local Tahitians with us. But the other thing is that because of our longevity in the destination and our relationship with the island and the islanders, we actually are the only cruise line to have a contract with the French Polynesian government to provide their medical doctors a ride to the remote outer islands when we go to places like the Marquesas where there is no medical facilities. So we're the company that is contracted to provide a free ride to doctors to provide medical care to the locals in the destination. And then they can come on board and use our ultrasound machine and our x-ray machine. So it is about sustainability and giving back. And that's what Paul Gauguin Cruises is. We are part of the destination and live and breathe it. So.
And along those lines, one of the things that you mentioned is about the medical insurance. Everyone who books with us has medical evacuation and repatriation automatically up to $1 million.
Awesome. That's fantastic.
So
Hopefully you never need it.
we're including that already.
Good. Good to know. Yes. What questions might I answer for anybody? I know I covered a lot of stuff, but usually I try to find that when I do my presentations, I tend to answer your questions, but I am open to any questions, including personal ones if you want to know, since I've been to the islands many times. So hit me.
Real quickly, the November 21st cruise, is that 25 next year or in 2026?
That's 2026.
Okay.
And we did that on purpose because it hits you on Thanksgiving. And if you look at the time off on there, you actually will only end up taking like 3 days.
Yeah, no, that's why I was curious. Okay, yeah. Cool. Thank you very much.
All right. So just so you know, I figured that was going to be a very the dates of that cruise, I will be honest, we were on a Zoom with Barbara when that cruise was announced. And as a result of that, like literally during that Zoom, we all went, Barbara, can we have this, please? And she was like, and then we begged, and then Scott twerked, and then we got it.
I twisted my arm. I couldn't resist the twerk.
So yeah,
not many
Jason,
people can.
That is now the other thing is we do want to and just so we're clear, these rooms here we're booking now. So that's the only thing. So for folks on the single supplements, the category, and what I really want to point out is on that November 26th one, we kind of pulled something November 21st in 26.
Yes.
We kind of snuck something in there. And that is you're going to see category C and CS. Just so you all know, those are both balconies.
Yeah. And so I will say the CS, so especially on the July 5th one, the CS is the only balcony one that the 0 single supplements applicable to. There's less than a handful of those. So when it comes to the CS, that one is definitely quick to go. And because we have this exclusive group pricing, we're not actually holding space. So you do need to book in order to try to capture those. And so for the 26th voyage, you have true balcony Cs, and there's plenty of those, and the CSs that go into play there. So yeah, great offers.
And guys, what you really have to do is look at that November 21st one. That's 11 nights. At that price point, we are paying literally, I book your cruises. Some of you are paying for a 5-night cruise, that amount of money right now. Okay. And there's no comparison in terms of what you're going to get. Yeah. And I really believe that. And that's the difference for me, is when I'm looking at the quality of what it is that we're going to get, where we're going. You're going to overnight in a couple of those ports. You saw that they actually have lots of entertainment rooms available for a reason, right? So we'll be able to have a twerking contest with Scott pretty much at least every other night, but knowing that we've got a lot that we will be able to cover. So I really like this. Now there is one other thing, and correct me if I'm wrong, isn't there something special that gets done with dining, but not for everybody? There's very limited. I think there's
Oh,
like 19 tables.
so are you talking about the marina dinner?
Yeah.
Yeah, so okay, so I hesitate to mention that one because there is a special dining experience. It is truly only for a couple or two couples traveling together, and it's first come, first confirmed. So the soonest you book, so what we do is that marina, the activity platform that comes down on the back of the ship, we will set that for a dinner when we are overnight in Bora Bora for a couple. There is an extra charge for it. So when you make your reservation, have Sean and the team ask if the marina dinner is available. And if it is, and you're the first to grab it, amen to you, because there's no wait list for it. So yeah, that's kind of the secret dinner. That's the secret sauce. Yeah.
We may be trying to work a little extra stuff on that, just so y'all
Yeah,
know.
yeah, we're in
And I,
cahoots. We're in cahoots to discuss things, but I can't
yeah.
promise anything yet. I mean, unless I'm there, maybe.
That's not a problem. We've done that. And you all notice, though, of course, there is an extra charge on that, but I do want to point out on the 2026, you've got $300 a shipboard credit and $150 a shipboard credit. Now that says PP.
Per person. Yep.
Did y'all catch that? So in other words, I know a lot of you are used to per cabin, right? No, this is per person. So there's $600 of onboard credit for you on the November of 26 one, and there's $300 on the 2025 one. So again, I really can't think of a better one. Della, you always know more. And I hit her and I can't even see, so I might have surprised her when I hit her too, when I just by calling out her name. Let's see. Yeah, did I surprise you? I didn't mean to. But tell me, what do you think? Any questions?
And last year was a really increase.
You're muted.
Oh, record volume.
But she can't hear me.
More than 53,000 planes.
Oh,
I
got it.
think it's a great deal. But one thing I'd like to have her go over again is the air program
Sure.
with
Mm.
Air Tahiti Nui.
Yep, absolutely. So we have an air program that we've contracted with Air Tahiti Nui. You can just do air by itself, which is very simple and easy. But what I always recommend is that you take advantage of our air package. The air package includes the day room and transfers. So if you're on that overnight flight, you arrive into the island at 5 in the morning ish. You can't get on the ship till 3 in the afternoon. So you want the day room to be able to enjoy some rest, refreshment, take a shower, hit the pool, and then get transferred to the ship at 3 in the afternoon. So doing the air package is more advantageous because you've got the day room and the transfers included. Now, of course, if you're going to take advantage of doing a pre-night, in addition, then that's not a problem. That will work with the air package as well. So just kind of keep that in mind. But yeah, it's really to your benefit to do the bundle of the air package. That way you're not just flying in and sitting at Faha Airport, which there's nothing there. So
Exactly.
you want to do that. In fact, I recommend if you're going to come in, even if you're going to do the day room, if you just want to stay at the resort and swim and relax, you can do that. But you can easily take a taxi because there's no Uber here. You can take a taxi back into Papiete and go to Le Marché. So on Saturday, the market is open all day. So you can land at 5, get to the hotel, take a nap at 9, take a taxi down to Le Marché, do your souvenir shopping, whatever it is you want to do, get your Tahitian cultured pearls, these earrings I got there as well. Like they sell all sorts of stuff, and then go back to the hotel and wait for your transfer. So plenty to do there.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? All right.
Nothing. You guys are
like-
usually pretty boisterous here.
Hi, this
Okay.
is Suzanne. I'm just wondering if the restaurants are vegetarian friendly or are there
Yes.
plant-based options?
Thank you.
Yes, great question. Great. Thank
Mhm.
you for mentioning that, and shame on me for not mentioning that. All of our restaurants, we have vegetarian as well as vegan, and we can do gluten-free. We can basically do any diet except kosher because we can't keep a kosher kitchen. But otherwise, we've got all your specialty covered.
Other than the spa, what are some of the things that we can use the shipboard credit on?
Yeah, good question. So spa, shore excursions, and scuba diving. We also have a boutique on board that sells pearls as well as your sundries and your Paul Gauguin logo wear. But basically, those are kind of the four things that you're going to use them for: spa, scuba diving, shore excursions, and the gift shop. Now, I will say we talked about all of your alcohol and beverages included. That is true. It's an extensive list of your beer, wine, and spirits that are included. There are some top shelf premium beer, wine, spirits that could be on there that are more market value. So you could use anything that's added to your onboard folio, like premium alcohol, that could be used with your shipboard credit as well. But look, I've looked at the bar menu and I've enjoyed it quite a bit. And I promise you, there's not a whole lot that's not included that you wouldn't enjoy. So
I've looked at this and I will let you all know for having traveled with a lot of you. I mean, we're talking like the extreme side,
yeah,
not yeah.
for sure. Yeah, but great question. Yes. Any others? Okay, well, I think if you guys think of anything else, Sean has my contact information. I'm more than happy to answer questions. If you need more info, I'm happy to jump on a call with you and Sean and his team as well. So please do not hesitate to reach out. And truly, Maruru, from the bottom of my heart, this is a destination that I absolutely love. You know, been around the world like many of you too, 60 plus countries myself, and I always come back to French Polynesia. I love it. I live it. If you need tattoo artist recommendations, I can put that out there too. I'm not saying too much, but there you go. There you go. Yes. Yeah.
That's awesome.
For sure.
And I want to thank everybody for coming out, and also I want to thank Barbara for being here and being so flexible with us on this. I really am excited about this one. For those that want to know, right now we're Scott and I are planning on being on the November of 2026. As it stands now. But that I love the dates of that July 5 one. And I'll be honest, if there was a way for me to figure out to do both of them, I would be on them. But the only reason I say that 26 is because a lot of us have already booked a bunch of 25s and a bunch of 24 cruises already. Della unfortunately can't remember which cruise she's going on which day over the next couple of months. So she just knows she has like 12 of them that she's going on next year. And I just told her, just bring a bag to the airport and just have them do laundry on the ship. So
True statement. True statement.
So, but again, guys, this is a good one. Reach out to me. Let me know what you want to do. We do want to put down things early though, simply because I would like to get I would like to get some extra experiences in there. As many of you know, I tend to go a little over the top on some of the experiences. I know. So just let me know if anybody has any interest. I am going to be posting this online tonight. So it will be up on YouTube as usual for everybody to be able to take a look at if they want to. And that's it.
And both of those are on the website already with information.
And that's how you know Scott's been helping out.
Yay, Scott.
Good, because
All right.
Shay is still sleeping, and I wish he would have caught this one. So
There's a recording. There's a
yeah, oh, I
recording.
know. Oh, he's gonna watch it.
He will.
Oh yes.
Callie, I was like, Callie's not asking questions. What's going on here?
Because the man with the money is upstairs.
But you know where he keeps it.
I know all the passcodes by heart.
Funny thing about that is so do I.
Yeah, I know. You too.
So that's wonderful. Callie, just a lot, and you were surprised at the pricing at the end, weren't you?
Yes. Yeah, but I'm kind of leaning towards the July one because 26 just seems so far away for me. But getting him to commit will be, so
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with doing them both. I'm just gonna
there
throw it
you
out there.
go.
Yeah.
And that's the way we'll present that.
Mhm. But then he's gonna
One
look at
for
the
me.
price difference, and then he's gonna do the math on the 4 nights.
Oh, I know.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, like you said, the 3 days off because you do with him like Jason, it's the PTO. So,
Mhm.
so
So there you go. All
Yeah.
right. Well, thank you guys. Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate you coming out. Thanks for showing the support. Love seeing y'all. Can't wait to see some of you on cruises. Cannot wait to see some of you on some of these land trips that we've
Yeah.
got coming up. And I cannot wait for us all to be out there and to get the videos of us out with
the
Miss
paddleboards.
Davis, because she's gonna come with us. She doesn't know this yet, but we're taking her. Okay. As you know, we have kidnapped people before. We're not above it, so we're just gonna let her know. And don't worry, there will always be photography because Jason's here. So yeah, so wonderful. Thanks, guys.
Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, Jay. Bye, Lance.
Bye,
Bye,
guys.
Carla.
Be safe.
Dance.